Hello, this is Opera SM with the From the Ashes Alliance of Coalitions. Today I'm going to be talking about a black-green Garruk 2 Reanimator deck that I've been having a lot of fun playing. I affectionately call it SmashCrashRAWR. I'm normally a pretty spiky, combo-y sort of player, but this is bringing out my inner Johnny and just letting me have a lot of fun play with big old things that I get to smash my opponent's face with. Idea was sparked. I wish I remembered who it was that I saw in training grounds, but when someone brought a Hogak back from the graveyard, he's normally pretty hard to play in the sense that you can't have him gain mana like you traditionally would, and that you need to have a lot of stuff die in order to get him onto the field. But if you can just dump him into your graveyard and then reanimate him, you have a 16/16 trample berserker creature, which is great. Guy's Revenge is the second creature I have in the deck, just as a 16 power haste hexproof creature. He's just the next best fantastic option for this deck. So those are the two creatures that will run. The other two components you need to make a Reanimator deck work are ways to get creatures into your graveyard, the enablers. We have three of them in the decks: Glimpse the Unthinkable, Drown in the Lock, and Gather the Pack. Glimpse and Drown, while they do drain your opponent for some mana and sometimes kills their creatures stuff, they're primarily there just to get stuff in the graveyard. And Gather the Pack is the best enabler that we have in this deck. This Origins uncommon workhorse just works so well. It's one of the most efficient ways to get stuff into your graveyard creatures. And then we have our ways to actually get stuff back into play, our reanimation spells. Bonds of Revival, for 9, return the first creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste until end of turn. If possible, if you can set it up, you want to return Hogak with this, since Gaia's Revenge already has haste. Cauldron's Gift, pick one of the first two creature cards from your graveyard and move that to play under your control. Another reanimation spell, but the Adamant Black is another enabler. You'll need to first have a creature in their graveyard, but it will help you once you get going. Just dump more creatures into your graveyard if you can set it up to get a match black the turn you play it. And Connive, we don't cast too much, but the backside Concoct is great. It's a reanimation spell, and it also lets you surveil 3, so again, a slight enabler in being able to dump 3 cards into your graveyard. Best reanimation spell in the deck is Finale of Eternity. You'll want to cast this when it has fully charged, and then since X is 12 or more, you get to return the first 3 creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, so it's a mass reanimation effect. Also usually wipes your opponent's board, which is great, though it is worth noting and very important for this deck that you actually don't, your opponent does not have to have creatures on the board and able to cast this. That's very important. It won't get stuck in your hand. The ideal start for this deck is if you can get an early Gather the Pack into a Finale of Eternity, then you're swinging with 3 creatures very quickly. Killer Instinct is the last card in the deck. I was first experimenting with Dead Bridge Chant, but then I realized you really need the enablers to get stuff into the graveyard for the deck to start working. Killer Instinct will do that. It searches out creatures, puts them into play with haste to swing, and then they die at end of turn, so that gives you stuff in your graveyard eventually to start reanimating. Alright, let's take this thing for a test spin in Standard. Playing against a Kiora deck here. And I just really liked Garruk too. He's, in my opinion, by far the best black-green planeswalker. It's a good color combination. Vraska was fine, though on the weaker side, but I've really, really liked Garruk. His +4 mana gains in both black and green are great. The red +2 is also wonderful, so it gives you 3 options of colors with decent matches, and only -1 for white and blue, so it's a just solid planeswalker all around. I'd recommend trying to pick it up when it comes around, especially if there's another planeswalker sale where you can get it discounted. I bit the bullet. I usually am a value based person, but it was good enough that I decided I just wanted it now. All right, so let's take a look at this here. Killer Instinct is probably what I'm going to start with, because again, we need an enabler. So we'll get that on the board first, and then Cauldron's Gift. We'll see if we need to adjust accordingly to play. All right, let's take a look at our matches here. It looks like a black-green down at the bottom is going to be great. What's our other options here? We could get a red and a blue, but that's not as much mana right now. We could get a green and a red and have a chance maybe for a match 5. Let's just take this down at the bottom here. I should have actually looked what I was setting my opponent up for. That was not good play on my part. You need to, when you play in general, don't just think about what your matches are, but also think about what you're leaving for your opponent. And that was me early in the morning, not thinking things through the best, most probably. Let's see, we've got this on the concoct side. Green, red, black. I'm probably going to leave the blacks over on the other side to cast again to set up when I Cauldron so I can put more stuff into my graveyard. But let's see here. No, actually, I'm probably just going to cast it now because it's the best mana gains we can get here. Alright, got a Hogak, which is going to come in and die later. Let's see. And so we don't have anything in the graveyard yet. Wondering if I want to just wait on this concoct. I'll probably just wait. I could hit something, but I'd rather make sure I hit something for certain. And we'll put the other concoct on top there. Let's just take this. I always usually am too methodical and take forever, but in recording videos, for your sanity, we're not going to let Bryce take forever making a match. Alright, let's see if we can get 3 red and then 3 red if we make the match at the second bottom row. Oh, nope, almost missed that. There's a match 5 in the middle with 5 red and white, so that's what we're going to do first. Alright, yeah, so we're going to concoct both. Maybe we can get something else in the graveyard as well. We'll see. Yes, we did. Great. And then I'm going to leave a Gather the Pack on top just because that will give us more stuff if we don't win. But as you can see, we are getting, quite a bit of damage through every turn here. Let's see, do we have anything else in the graveyard creature-wise? No, we don't. But I'm still going to start charging up these reanimation spells because if we can get something else to put in there, we're going to smash face more. SmashCrashRAWR! And again, with the Killer Instinct, we will lose a creature every turn, but that's okay. Because we just get to reanimate it back. Alright, a new card. Creature in the graveyard. So yeah, we should be able to win this turn. We already have the win on the board, but we're just gonna run up the scoreboard a little bit because why not? But yeah, I've really enjoyed this deck. So hopefully this is something, if you have the cards. I realize this is not the most accessible deck. This has quite a few masterpieces and mythics, but those were just the cards I found that worked the best. But within recent sets, they have printed some decent enablers and reanimation spells, which were not around in the last couple sets. So I think there is a critical threshold of the enabler and reanimation components to make a Reanimator deck work. But hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to try to just make more of these. and work on production quality as able, but just figured getting out decks, which I'm having fun playing. Um, Next up, I think I'm going to try to put out a Pauper Legacy combo deck, which I know there's newer players have wondered how to do some combo loops, and it's not always the most accessible if you don't have those masterpieces and mythics which are needed, but we found a really cool version that can do it with all uncommons, so stay tuned, that'll be up soon.